Guys, we were very lucky to be with the head of the Michigan chapter of MUFON, Mr. William, or do you go by Bill?
Bill.
Bill? Mm-hmm. Mr. Bill today. So can you explain to us what MUFON is?
MUFON is the world's largest civilian UFO research organization with over 5,000 members currently in over 40 countries. The organization's been around since 1969, and what we do, of course, is we investigate UFO sightings. Most of our sightings come in through our website. Somebody reports a sighting. We have trained field investigators try to figure out what it is that they've seen. We can identify usually about 90% of what comes into us, but the remaining 10% is what makes it such an interesting thing to do, is to investigate. It's never a dull moment. I think that that we will be seeing even more interest in the phenomena as the public discussion of it increases. And in Michigan alone, we get right now, even about 200 plus sightings a year.
Wow.
Just in Michigan.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the website. What website would they be going to?
MUFON.com, MUFON.com.
Absolutely. And what is your personal experience with the extraterrestrial?
Well, I often like to say UFOs took an interest in me before I took an interest in them. I've had several sightings throughout my life and other strange things happening. The sighting that got me into MUFON was back in 1989. Me and two friends were in his Chevette. It was February, so it was dark out, and we're waiting for another friend to get off of work when this blue ball of light, about the size of a car, about the height up of two telephone poles, just flew slowly over, kind of tumbled. It was almost football shaped, and we just all watched it go over the car. And then a white ball of light came and zigzagged all over the sky. That disappeared, and then a red ball of light appeared in the center of the sky, grew to the size of a full moon, which is quite large, and then shrank again. And we didn't know what to do. One of my friends said, "Oh, we should tell the police." And we're like, we're kids, we're going to tell the police that we saw a UFO. How's that going to go?
Yeah.
And my other friend said, "Yeah, well, we've got the military base not far from here. We should tell them." I'm like, "Okay, so you're not going to tell the police?" We're not going to tell the police, but we're going to tell the military. So I found a group, investigates UFOs, MUFON. Not a lot of people know about the organization, but they're the real deal. And I was really impressed reporting my sighting, and I've been a member ever since.
So you're a speaker here today at the conference. Without giving too much away, what will you be speaking on today?
Okay, actually, I spoke yesterday, and I was the opening. It was such a blessing to be able to open the conference. I spoke about my sightings, and my sightings go beyond just simply seeing a disc in the sky. My very first memory in life, I'm just going to roll out with it, because I guess that's why I'm here, was to tell my story. A little gray guy came into my room at age 2, big black eyes, and I had no idea what it was. I screamed for my parents in the other room. My mom told me to go back to sleep. I was not asleep. And then after a few moments, the being just walked out of the room, and that started a series of sightings that I would have, encounters, contacts with these type of beings. I had one at age 4, one at age 7 where they cut my arm. I still have a scar from it. 9 is when I saw my first UFO flying through the sky. I had several of these types of experiences, contact through my teen years, and then they leveled off in my 20s and have been very infrequent since then.
To the common person like myself that hear your stories and say, I don't know about that, how can you get them to become more open-minded?
Yeah.
What will you say to them?
Okay, and first of all, I'll say I get it, because say you believe me, but say you've never thought about the subject before.
Right.
Then what I'm asking you by saying, like for example, the sighting I just mentioned with my 2 friends back in '89, if you believe what I'm saying, that this happened, because that could not be easily explainable aircraft. If I tell you about some of these contact experiences, even if you want to believe me, you have to change the way you feel about everything to say, oh, okay, I believe he had contact with an extraterrestrial. Oh gosh, well that means I believe that there's extraterrestrials and they're visiting the planet, all because I want to believe this person who sounds credible. So there's a huge barrier. So even people that are good listeners will often take what you tell them and just sort of quarantine it Say, I'm not going to think about it, because then they have to rethink everything about their place in the universe, where people are on the food chain, and things like religion, and even economy. That they're like, okay, how does this now apply to this? All because you believe some story that somebody told you.
Right.
And so, to I guess further answer your question and get more to it, is that if you don't have anything like this ever happen in your life, I bet certainly several people that have. It's that sort of question if you're at a party and you can even say, oh, you ever see Unsolved Mysteries, the UFO ones? And then just wait to see what happens, and someone will say, I had this weird thing happen, and somebody else will say, I had this weird thing happen. Never fails. You go into a group, somebody's got a story. If you're open-minded enough to just listen to all these stories, do what you want with it, I guess. If it's not going to affect you directly in life, I get it if you don't think about it. But if you do have it happening in your life, you could just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to just sit around, live my life until the next weird thing happens. Or you could go out and meet other people that have had this kind of thing happen. You can tell other people this sort of thing happens. It's very helpful to get it off your chest, to talk to other people, to meet other people that have had similar things happen. And so, there's a giant invisible community out there that have always known that something's happening.
Now, before we let you go, I've been asking everybody that we've been interviewing, if and when we make contact, what would you like these extraterrestrials to take from humanity back to their home world?
I'm chuckling because, to me, that's my experience, is that these beings have been doing this. But what I hope that they take from the interactions that are currently occurring is an understanding and a respect for us culturally. I don't think they look at us as animals exactly, but not much better than how we treat some animals, unfortunately.
Right.
And to meet us where we're at would be a great thing to do, a great sign of respect on their part.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate your time.
Sure, thank you.
Absolutely.